Some time ago, we talked about the truth as it affects us all and each one of us. And I want to further that exploration today. Truth is something very important. For example, if you don't know something, you ask, I want to post a letter. Then people will say, oh, that's easy, you just go to the post office there. And they give you the directions. Google Maps, thankfully, gives us direction to our destinations. And if you follow, you expect that you will arrive at the post office. What a surprise if instead you were arriving to the supermarket, for example. That would be a catastrophe. And I'm sure you complain. The same goes with people advising you. You are hungry, and people tell you, wow, there is that restaurant that is absolutely superb. They make the best dishes on earth. So you ask for the address, you go there, and if they serve you something saltless, tasteless, half-cooked, even with salmonella, I'm sure you will go back to your advisor and said, that was absolutely calamitous. Did you do it on purpose? Did you lie to me? Or you didn't know? Because you need the truth. We need the truth about what we buy online. You go to Amazon and you want to buy, anything, being medicine, clothes, furniture. Before you buy, you go to the area there that gives you reviews from customers. And I'm sure that if you see that there is only 1 star to the item with a terrible review, you won't buy it, obviously. You won't. So, truth is at the center of life. And Pontius Pilate in the Bible, the Roman governor, told Jesus, what is the truth? And many people could ask the same. If you believe something to be true, how will you know whether it's true? You have to test it. If someone tells a child, fire burns, don't touch that cup, it's hot coffee. You know what the child will do next. Instead of listening to what you are saying, they will go for it. And when they burn themselves, even if so lightly, they will not try again because they know that what you said was the truth. That's it. And we know that many people over the years have tested that in various ways. Now we enter a plane to travel. But do you know that in history, there are many people that wanted to fly? Started with, in literature, Icarus, that gummed wings to his body. And when he came near the sun, the wax melted and he fell. Many people jumped out of buildings with makeshift wings. And it cost several lives before we could enjoy the planes we take now. And when you enter the plane, you trust that that plane will take you to your destinations because it is written so on the airline website. You trust the pilot because you are told that the pilots are trained and fully certified. Now I want to encourage you to test. Last time we saw that there are 2 ways of knowing the truth. You believe and you can see it, touch it, test it, and that adds to the knowledge, the experience. When I was in secondary school, I was in a very small secondary school that was very poor in France. And so all I saw about mercury in science classes was something that was drawn black. So I thought that mercury was black until when I was preparing for my A-level, I changed school. I went to a big college. We went to the lab that my former school didn't have. And for the first time in my life, I saw that mercury was not black. It was silvery. I was completely gobsmacked. So I had now tested, and I could say that with my eyes I saw and confirmed what was written by other people, that this was the color of mercury. We can all say that fire burns because we have not only learnt it, but we saw it, we touched it, we verified it. And we need to stand. Once we have discovered the truth, once we have tested the truth, we have to stand for it. There's a famous scientist, a geographer, Galileo, born 1564. And at that time, he had discovered that the earth was circling around the sun. And the church told him that this was wrong, that he had to repent from saying that. He was imprisoned. And famously he said, and yet it is turning. So he couldn't say no because he knew. The same way we know that when a child grows in the womb, what makes the child? The child DNA is not the mother's DNA. The child's heart beating from the first month is not the mother's heart. The heartbeat is beating at a very different rhythm from the one of the mother. The same way we know that women and men are not built the same. People have testified to it. Doctors have written about it and talked about it. Our skeleton is different. Our skin is different. Our pilosity is different. Our ways of thinking are different. We are wired differently. Our size is different. The level of hormones in our bodies are different. From the first conception minute, the cells are different. They are organized differently. It's either XX or XY. So before we knew all this, in the prehistoric times, we could have said anything we wanted. But now we know that this has been discovered, tested, recorded, written about. So anything that is developed and discovered, anything that has been tested, recorded properly, we could not deny. During the pandemic, if you had a cough and persistent cough and other symptoms, we go for a test to know whether we have COVID or not. And you try the test and you believe that whatever is resulting from that will tell you the truth, that you have or you don't have COVID. And so I want to encourage you to look at results. For example, if you are in a same-sex relationship, you cannot produce a baby together. And I want to encourage you, whatever you believe, first of all, test your belief with your experience, because nobody can deny one's experience. If they tell me fire burns and I don't believe it, I will do like any child. I'll put my hand there. And once I've tested, I can tell whatever you say, I know that fire burns. because I experienced it, tested it with reality, not just in my mind. If you say you are a cat, as a human being, if you say you are a cat, then go for it and go on all four, stop driving, stop your work, and eat only cat food. If you don't want to do that, then repent and say, sorry, I made a mistake, I'm not a cat. Okay? If you believe that your identity changes every day, then what will you do when you go to the doctor? If you try it, tell the doctor, today I'm a baby of 35 years. Tomorrow you go back and say, oh, sorry, I'm a cat. Next tomorrow you say, actually, I'm a disabled person. And you see that is not going to work. The same when you go to school. The same for everything. So I want to encourage you. Try and know the truth. Search for it. Try to discover it. If it has been discovered, check how they discovered it, what has been published about it. Study, enquire, then test. And once you have tested and you know it's the truth, then go for it and continue on that line. And some truths are not experimented with scientific data because they belong to the realm of faith. But faith can be tested and can be checked with experience. So I want to encourage you. Stick to the truth once you have discovered it. Jesus said, I am the truth. Then try him. Tell him, if you said this and it's true, let me know. And you will discover something.